What's good, guys? Fantasy Joe back here with some more fantasy football content. Today, we are talking quarterback league winners. The last of the league winners series. Check out running backs and wide receivers. Already been posted. If you guys are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Have league winners up, fantasy profiles on a ton of players, breaking fantasy news, always updated here. So you're going to hit that sub button. Stick around. Win that fantasy league. It's that simple. Hit the sub button. Win that league. But yeah, let's talk about our quarterback winners. Like, comment, all that good stuff. Okay, first up, we've got Dak Prescott. Dak averaged 27.3 points per game in the 2020, which was number one amongst quarterbacks. Number one amongst players, too, I'm pretty sure. And he's currently being drafted the back of the fifth round, basically a sixth-round pick right now. And I think that's great value. I think you're getting a little bit of a dip from that injury. People worried about the injuries. I'm not worried about the injury. In pregame the other day, he completed 51 of 52 passes in a simulated type game. And they said if they were playing a real game, like they were playing Tampa today, that he'd be playing. And that was about a couple days ago now. So probably about 2 weeks or more, a full 2 weeks or more before the season would even start. They said basically if we were playing, he'd be ready to go. So I'm not worried about Dak. Let's look at it back at 2019, though. Last year he was fully healthy. He finished as the quarterback 2 behind only Lamar Jackson. This is why I love the value that you're getting on Dak currently. He was actually dynamic for fantasy last season, as I said, on pace for 6,310 passing yards, his 17-game pace. He's got crazy weapons around him. He's never had, when he finished QB2, he didn't have CeeDee Lamb on the team then. He didn't have he didn't have CeeDee, who's a stud receiver. Now his weapons, he's got Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, Zeke out of the backfield. 3 all-pro offensive linemen are returning. I think this is going to be a big bounce-back year for the Dallas Cowboys offense. I am all in on the Cowboys offense. I want a piece of it everywhere I can get it. And I love taking Dak early. I think he's going to throw for 5,000 yards this year. And I think he's worth that 6th-round pick, and that's why he is a quarterback league winner. Let's hop up to the next guy. Next up, we've got Jalen Hurts. He's currently being taken in the back of round 8, basically a 9th-round pick. Hurts last year was dynamic when he was a starter. He averaged 23.75 fantasy points per game in the games that he started, and a lot of that was due to his insane rushing production. Now, this is kind of crazy. He averaged 11.5 carries per game in the games he started last year, which is absolutely ludicrous, and 68 rushing yards per game. That's basically almost 2 passing touchdowns if you play in a 4-point passing touchdown league. Obviously, it's not 6.8 compared to 8, but think about how many, that baseline that he gives you every week in rushing if he was to sustain that. Do I think he'll sustain that? No, but I do think he's going to run the ball a lot. I think this offense isn't great, so I think he's going to have to. They don't have a ton of weapons, but I think they have more weapons than they had last year. They had Devonta Smith, who I think instantly becomes the best pass catcher on the team. They've got Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert, who I don't think are anything crazy. I think Dallas Goedert's a very talented tight end. I think Zach Ertz, could be solid. But they return, offensive lineman. Lane Johnson's back. Their offensive line is just a lot more healthy. I think they'll be able to protect Jalen Hurts. I think he could be a better passer this year with the added weapons. Honestly, my biggest concern about Jalen Hurts is just him losing the job. If he's starting I think he's going to be good for fantasy, and I think he'll be productive, like I said, because of that rushing upside that he brings you. And that's why Jalen Hurts is a fantasy QB league winner. Moving on to our next guy, Trey Lance. So Trey Lance is right now a 12th-round pick. I think that's still reasonable because of his upside. I honestly think he'll be the starter week 1. They have a pretty easy schedule. They start the year off with the Detroit Lions and the Philadelphia Eagles. I think they're going to want to get Trey Lance into those flames, into that fire quickly, get him used to the NFL in some games like that where he could maybe afford to turn the ball over once or twice and they could still pull out the win. But Trey Lance has looked he's shown flashes during the preseason. He hasn't looked, polished by any means, but really what you need for fantasy isn't for him to be a polished quarterback. What you need to do what you need him to do is for him to run the ball, which he did at North Dakota State. His last year there, he had 1,100 rushing yards, 14 rushing touchdowns, and he also threw 28 touchdowns with 0 interceptions. Now, I know what you're thinking. How good could Trey Lance be in year 1, though? Could he be, how good can a rookie quarterback be? But I wanted to point one thing out. Last time a rookie quarterback with a Kyle Shanahan offense with a similar skill set was RG3, and he finished as a top 5 quarterback as a rookie. I think that could happen again with Trey Lance. I think that's the type of potential he has if he uses those legs. And honestly, RG3 did not have a crazy passing year that year. He just ran the ball a lot, threw for like right around 3,200 yards. I think Trey Lance could easily do that, and I think that there's great weapons around him. They've got a good offensive line, a good offensive system. Obviously, Kyle Shanahan calling plays. Then you got Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, as well as George Kittle to throw the ball to. I think Trey Lance offers a lot of potential this year in drafts. I love taking him. I think he's a league winner for sure, and a guy I love taking late in two quarterback league drafts. Insane value. All right, honorable mention, our last guy up, Ryan Tannehill. Tannehill is a stud. He finished last year as QB7. He's currently being drafted as QB11. And let me point out the one reason I don't think that makes any sense. They added Julio Jones this year in free agency. If you look at Ryan Tannehill last year, once A.J. Brown returned from his knee injury, he was a quarterback 3 on the season. Pretty ridiculous. And if you look at him the year prior, when he took over for Marcus Mariota as a starting quarterback, he was a quarterback 2 from that point on. And again, neither of those seasons was Julio Jones on the team. I think Ryan Tannehill could be very good for fantasy. He ran in 7 touchdowns last year. He has that rushing upside, gives you a little bit of a boost in that category, and as well as a very efficient passer, very accurate. Has graded out in the elite category back-to-back years according to Pro Football Focus. I have no doubt that he's a good quarterback, and now he's in a great system for fantasy with Julio Jones and A.J. Brown as his weapons. I think that's a significant upgrade from Corey Davis. I think Julio Jones still has it. I know Ryan Tannehill does. And yeah, you can currently get him in the back of the 8th round. Like I said, being drafted as quarterback 11, 808 right now in current draft position. I think that's great value on him. If you guys have made it to this point in the video, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, stick around, be a part of the Fantasy Joe channel. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section down below. Thank you guys for watching.